him in the county, well, in prison. Yeah, you know, Turner Fabs had accepted my case out of 150 cases. They had accepted mine. Yeah.
Excuse me, y'all. I gotta do something.
All right. Thank you for your time. So I just want to start with you describing or explaining what you saw, what happened as far as you're concerned on June 30th, 1997.
June 30th. Well, what happened was we come from the club, Mr. A's, and when we got to T's restaurant, they was having local guys was out there having a dice game, crap game, and as I was pulling up in the parking lot, I seen a confrontation going on over there, and I'm like, man, what the fuck, like that? I already arguing or something over the dice or something. When the closer I was getting to the scene, I seen it was one of my neighborhood friends, which was Dervin Jermaine Whitaker, and him and this guy get into the confrontation. Once they go to arguing, and as I get closer and closer, I see a lick pass. It was the lick pass. That's when I heard the wound. When I heard the wound, I grabbed my gun and started running towards the scene. When I'm running, as I get closer and closer, I seen he had like 3-4 more guys with him, and I started firing at them. You know.
When you say you saw the lick pass, who swung the punch?
It was a tall, slender guy. I guess the deceased guy. Earl Perry. Guess it was him. You know, they say he had pulled up talking about this is his mama property. He tired of people gambling up here and something, and I guess they got into it. You know, when I made it up there, I was running to it from my car. I had parked like maybe about 4 or 5 cars down from where they was gambling at, and as I was approaching the dice game, I seen the argument starting. I seen when the dude hit the guy, and when I looked, I'm like, damn, that's the homie from the hood. And I run up there too, you know. And so when I heard that one shot, I started firing, you know. I said, damn, I ain't know who shot who at first. But as I looked and seen, at the end of the scene, I seen Earl Perry laying on the ground. So I kept firing at his friends, and I went on run off to my car.
Did you see who shot Early Perry?
Well, one of them, like I say, it was him and this guy, him and Dervin. They was arguing. They was in a heated thing as I was approaching, and seen him when he come out with his gun. Boom, he shot, and I laid ground, found other guys, you know, and that was it.
When you say you fired your gun, why did you do that?
Because this my friend, this is a guy from the hood that I growed up with, and I felt like he was in harm's way and he was outnumbered. So, you know, in the streets, that's how it go.
Yet ultimately you were charged with his murder.
Yeah, I was charged with murder, first-degree murder.
So how did that happen? Walk me through those chain of events up until the point where you were arrested and charged.
Well, they had put a warrant out on me. Well, they had came over here looking for me and said I was wanted for murder. And at the time, like I was staying out Lincoln Green East, way over there, Veteran Memorial. And I would never come back over here. After that happened, I wouldn't come back over here. So I kind of knew, you know, it was a murder charge laying up on my head, because I kind of felt in a way that I was the one that shot the guy, because I shot 6-7 times, you know. But they said they found all my cartridges on the ground. Now one of my cartridges never even entered the guy's body. So they come got me 2000. The case happened June the 30th, 1997. They come got me 2000 and charged me with murder, first-degree murder. Come out there and got me from my mother-in-law house, kicked the door in and come in there and got me. And I ended up staying in the county a whole year fighting it, pleading not guilty, not guilty, not guilty, until my lawyer come to me with this plea deal from the judge, Denise Collins, you know. when it came, offered me 5 years, I was like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Because deep down in my heart, I felt like I was the one who killed the guy. You know what I'm saying? Because of the multiple shots I fired at him while he was on the ground. And that was pretty much it right there.
But then you later found out that the one bullet that killed him didn't come from your 9mm.
Didn't come from my gun. Didn't come from my gun at all.
How do you know Lamar Burks?
Well, I've been knowing Lamar Burks. He older than me, and growing up over here, he had a record label, Dollar Bill Records, and he was hiring a lot of the guys in the neighborhood to work for him. So I was one of the guys that used to work for him at Dollar Bill Records, at his record company.
So how did it get to the point that, so Lamar Burks was initially charged, that case was dropped because the initial witness was nowhere to be found, and then in October of 2000, the charges come again, you're charged too as the co-defendant. As far as you're concerned, your knowledge of the matter, how did that happen?
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it was just something that was out of his hand and out of our hand. They wanted him. At the time, they wanted him because they had a picture painted like he was the ringleader over here, some stuff like that. Like everybody over here was working for him, but it was just music. You know, we just working for him at this record label. You know, just music. Guy trying to come up and blossom the young guys in the neighborhood. That was it.
What did you do working for Lamar?
Security.
Yeah. Did you see him out there, out front T's restaurant that night?
No, sir.
No? Not
at all. Not even at Mr. A's club. And that's where we all, see the club Mr. A's right down the street right here. And this where we from right here. It's just probably a couple blocks down. And just like them guys standing right there, if somebody from my neighborhood was there at that club that night, I would have seen them. Because we all meet right there in front of the bar and we all be right there together. You know, we all stay right there with one another. And that night there, I never seen Lamar not one time. Not one time.
Yet Darvin Whitaker has said that he did see him there.
Yes, that's what Darvin Whitaker said.
Right. You chose not to testify against Lamar in trial, right?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Testifying on him of what? He an innocent man. What am I testifying on an innocent man for? He wasn't there. They put him somewhere where he wasn't. I don't know what kind of deal Darvin worked out with the state, but he put him there at the scene. For some strange reason, I don't know.
You had any other experiences, or did you know of Chad Scott and Schumacher?
No, not at the time. I never knew about them guys. You know, but furthermore, me hearing about them throughout my neighborhood, them trying to go after Mr. Prince, trying to put drugs on him, trying to assassinate him. I heard that growing up, and I feel like they went after Lamar the same way. They went after Lamar the same way.
How so?
A young black guy, entrepreneur out the neighborhood, starting a record label, you know, and they want to crush that.
Yes, Scott referred to him as the leader of essentially a drug kingpin, is how he referred to him. No knowledge of the record label.
The record label. Yeah, I don't have no knowledge of no drugs and none of that. All I know, we looked it up to him as a young black guy, successful, graduated Barbara Jordan High School. And to graduate Barbara Jordan, you gotta have a certain grade average to graduate out of Barbara Jordan High School. And he was pretty about his business, you know, he was more about his business. I can't say, I ain't never seen no drug activities, none of that.
So Lamar's ultimately convicted. You are too. When did you hear that he was convicted and ultimately had to serve the 70-year sentence?
When they came got me. They came pick me up. It was Lamar trial already had started. And they came got me and I had to go to court. Actually, the day they came got me, they took me to the court. And I was back there in the back holdover and I seen Lamar in his suit. And he was like, He's like, man, what's up? What they doing with you down here? Like, man, they came and got me, you know, telling me if I testify on you, they gonna let me go. They said they told me they don't care if I even shot the guy. Just tell them that Lamar Burks pulled the trigger and I'm free to go home. No charges.
Who told you that?
The homicide detectives that came and got me.
What was Lamar's reaction when he heard that from you?
He was just like, man, they finna try to railroad me. You know what I'm saying? I was like, for what? You ain't done nothing. You wasn't even much down. What is you even in court for? And he was like, man, I don't know, man. They finna try to railroad me, man. You know what I'm saying? That's all he was telling me. He said, man, they finna try to railroad me, man. That was it.
Well, you had your own legal problems to worry about because you were hit with the same charge.
Yes, sir.
Did you ever tell anybody that Lamar wasn't there during that time?
Oh, I told everybody in the hood, no. Everybody in our neighborhood knew Lamar wasn't there. Because the older guys, they was like, he's supposed to caught a plane, went to Louisiana. One of his family was in a wedding, had a wedding going on or something.
Got married, yeah.
Yeah, and my older friend, they were like, Lamar was at a wedding. How the hell they put him right there? I said, no. Durbin put him right there. He put Lamar in his spot, you know, because me and him was the only two from the neighborhood right there at the dice game. You know, I got the car because I seen you, and I seen you in a confrontation. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And whatever that confrontation led up to a man being killed, you know, and that was it.
That conversation come up with your legal team? Did you mention that to them?
No, because I was pleading innocent. Mm-hmm. I pleaded not guilty the whole time. I never not once said I was guilty on this murder trial. Mm-hmm. The whole time I was in the county, the whole year, not guilty, not guilty, not guilty, not guilty. Because they had not one witness against me, not one witness. They were saying that Durbin was gonna testify on me, then some people saying that he wasn't gonna testify on me. You know what I'm saying? He was telling me to go and go to trial. I ain't gonna come back and testify on you. I got who I want. You know, that's the word he shot back to the streets. I got who I want.
Who told you that?
I said that's the word that Durbin shot back to the neighborhood, that he got who he want, that I can go and go to trial, I'm gonna beat the case, you know what I'm saying? Or why will I go to trial and you just got on the stand, and I know I pulled my trigger, but you just got on the stand and lied on an innocent man that was nowhere around, and saying that you seen him shoot, and that you seen me shoot, that you watched me shoot the guy 6 times. And come to find out now one of my bullets even entered the guy's body. So how did you watch 6 bullets go out my gun into this guy's body? How?
I'll talk more about Lamar in a second, but I want to ask, I mean, after you find out that none of the bullets you fired entered Perry's body, yet, you know,
Keep talking. I'm just gonna. I got a little wind noise.
You agreed to the plea deal. You served 5 years behind bars. I'm going to ask you in a second. What does that do to you?
Well, really it got me in a state of mind to where I always figured in my mind that I'm this murderer guy. You know, I done killed the man, you know, because that's a saying, man, you know, you can give a guy anything back, but you can't give a guy back his life if you take it away from him. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I feel like I've done. So them 5 years me in prison, I lived in regrets. I always used to write down, take notes, like what I want to say to his kids, the guy that got killed, you know, apologize to his kids, because I know he had kids and stuff, you know, and come to find out I was innocent the whole time. Never killed no one. But
how do you feel about firing the gun, though?
Well, I regret it. Yeah, I regret it. But I felt like I was doing something right to save a friend, because they had guns too and they was fine too. So I felt like I'd done something right to save a friend at the time.
So Lamar serves or is convicted and is serving 70 years. He's been behind bars since he was convicted for a crime he says he didn't commit. He says he was in Louisiana at his sister's wedding. You've recently signed an affidavit with your account of what happened, saying that Lamar was not there. What encouraged you to do this?
Well, really the truth. You know, I feel like it was just time the truth come out after, especially after I heard this guy got locked up and was charged. So I was like, now it's the perfect time for us to tell the truth now. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got to worry about nobody trying to come kick our door in and kill us. You know, because they said this guy, Chad Scott, this is what he was known for doing. You know, if he can't get you off the street or whatever, he'll have his guys, they'll come in there and kill you. So that's what I was going on. That's why I wouldn't say nothing at the time, you know, but now I feel like everything's safe now.
Because Chad Scott has been convicted. I know you said that you didn't have much of an experience with him other than hearing about him and then more after this case came together, but what did folks say about Chad Scott and Schumacher, these two DEA agents who launched this pretty significant investigation into Jay Prince and Rap-A-Lot Records and subsequently Lamar and other people in the community? I mean, you too, to an extent.
Well, pretty much, from what I go on, from what everyone's saying and the articles I've been reading lately, you know, and they were pretty dangerous. Chad Scott and Schumacher, they were pretty dangerous. And when they after you, they get you. It was just that Mr. Prince went to the media with it and got him up off of him. And once the people seen what was going on, they asked them to bag up off it. Ease up off him. You know, what y'all messing with this man for? No apparent reason. Because he running a record label? You know, it's a hard idea for us, man.
Yet Lamar had a much different fate.
Yeah. It's just like when everybody they see get with Mr. Prince or whatever, they can't get Mr. Prince, it just trigger down. It just fall down to the next guy. Who is this other guy? They want to know who is this other guy. Who is you? You're a new face around him. How did you get up under this millionaire? You know, how did you start hanging around this multi-millionaire? So that's why they start messing with Lamar. Lamar and Mr. Prince had become friends, you know. They both own record labels right here in Fifth Ward, and they had became close friends. You know what I'm saying? So going to church or whatever together. So people feel like, hey, we need to look at this new face guy. Who is him? And that's what made them start messing with Lamar.
What do you hope happens here, sir? I mean, you've got this affidavit. I'll give it to you. I mean, you know, this is your language. You wrote it. I just have you, look through it, and what stands out to you, if anything?
Oh, right here, I want to say parents, family, and friends, I always blame Lamar, because they did, because Lamar went to school with them. They all went to Barbara Jordan High School. And from what I understand, they saying they picked Lamar out a yearbook. You know how they do that once a year graduation book or something? They said they picked Lamar out of the book and said that he was the one that killed this guy. You know, I don't know why, what made them do that, I don't know. Or what they had against Lamar at the time. But I understand the record label, Dollar Bill, it was making a name for it. It was starting to blossom, and they felt like Lamar had control of this area over here. And it was a lot of us, you know, and they feel like every time Lamar moved, he got 100 and some guys moving with him. You know what I'm saying? Up out the neighborhood. So that's the only thing I could see the family being mad about, because we done ran into some altercations before, and it was wasn't no guns or nothing, but it was physical fights and stuff like that there in the clubs.
I mean, the family wants justice, but it seems a lot for them to wrongly accuse a guy who comes from the same neighborhood.
Yes.
It's kind of hard to believe.
Yes, it is.
And I ask you, so again, Lamar is pushing his legal fight. It gets closer and closer. There's going to be an evidentiary hearing later this month where some new evidence, or evidence that's been around for a bit, but evidence is going to be taken into consideration, and possibly an appeal or a new trial that's down the line potentially. What do you want people to know about your story, your involvement in this matter, your affiliate, just everything, all across the board?
Well, that I'm telling the truth, and I'm the only one know the truth, the real truth, because I was the one there. And I'm the one when served 5 years for a murder that I did not commit. And Lamar is my foul partner, and I'm telling him that he's innocent. He was never there, you know, at the scene of the crime. I never seen him that night. He was never there. Wasn't nobody there but me and Durbin. And he know that. So whatever him and Chad Scott put together to go after Lamar behind, I don't know, you know, but me, as a man that I stand on, Lamar is an innocent man, and I'm here to say that.
And you're not the only one to walk back to say this. Randy Lewis has since come out to say that he was. I'll just back up for a second. Did you know Randy?
Yeah, I knew Randy.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew Randy. Randy was up there that night. I seen Randy. I seen his car there. You know, he had drove a blue Mercedes-Benz at the time.
He's since come back to say that it was not Lamar, that he was pressured by Scott and Schumacher.
Yeah, see, it was all a deal. It was all a deal from Chad Scott. Whatever they worked out, it came from Chad Scott. Some kind of agreement he gave them because they already had federal pending charges against him. Mm-hmm. So they worked out agreement with him, whatever they done up there in the federal penitentiary. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Have you had a chance to speak to Lamar since he...
No, I spoke with his son.
Yeah,
I spoke with his son. I keep in contact with his son. That's it. He came see me when I was just recently in the county.
His oldest son, the one who's an attorney?
Yeah, that's the one going to be an attorney.
Yeah. What are those conversations like?
Man, he misses his father, man. You know, his father been gone 19, 20 years out their life, man. You know, and he really misses dad, you know. I sit there and watch the little guy, he cried to me and everything, man, you know. It's hard growing up without your father, man, especially around him.
How so?
You know, it's hard. If you ain't got that male in the house, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna end up in the streets. You ain't got that father to give you that push for sports or be a rapper or do this here, do that there. You're gonna end up in the streets, man.
The DA's office says that they've reviewed this case and they've reviewed the allegations against Chad Scott, but they say that their case still stands. How is that, you think, considering that you have your story that you say that he wasn't even there? There are other people who have now come back to say that he wasn't there. So how can those two narratives coexist?
I don't understand it. I don't understand it. How else a man gonna get justice? How else he gonna get justice if he still got the prosecutor saying he got all this new evidence that come forward? Chad Scott then got found guilty of 7 counts out there in Louisiana. Then he got, a couple more counts down here in Houston somewhere. How can you not give this man a fair trial, a new trial, give him a fair trial?
So you say the allegations and, well, not the allegations, the case and the convictions, the conviction of Chad Scott is reason enough?
It's reasonable enough. Anything he had his hands on is reasonable enough.
Anything else you'd like to share, sir, you think we didn't touch on?
Nah, that'd be it, sir.
Do you have anything that comes to mind, Debbie Byron? Yeah, it was all on my neck and whatnot, and I was like,
Just for criminal purposes, just want to make sure you clearly ask that question.
Okay. So, I'm going to ask you this, and you mentioned this earlier, but I'm just going to ask you specifically. Who pulled the trigger?
I pulled the trigger, and Durbin pulled the trigger.
But you've since found out that your gun
never entered the guy's body. So, who that lead to be the killer? You know, it's a code you live by out here in the streets, and it took a lot out of me to even come forward to do this, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just letting the world know this is the honest God truth. I was there. I know who done what. Yeah, I got an innocent man been sitting down here away from his kids and his family, 19 going on 20 years, and they still trying to not to show him no justice. And I'm sitting right here as a man that went down there and served 5 years for nothing. For nothing. And they had all the evidence on the table. The judge even read the ballistic report, so she knew I was innocent the whole time too. How can you not know? It's right here in your face. You got everything right here. How you not read that now one of my bullets entered this guy's body, but y'all still prosecuted me? So that ought to tell you a lot right there.
What does it tell you?
System corrupted. When they want you, they get you by all means necessary. And that's what they done.
Whitaker?
Yeah.
Did you ask where? Does he know where he is?
Yeah. That was. We talked extensively about him. All right, I think.
If there's anything else he wants to add.
Yeah. Unless there's anything else you want to share, I think we
We
talked pretty extensively about Whitaker. I mean, y'all were, and I'll ask you again. How'd you know Dervin Whitaker?
Been knowing Dervin my whole life. We growed up shooting marbles together.
Have you seen him at all since then?
Nah, I ain't seen him at all. I haven't seen him at all, not one time.
He stood behind his story. He's even, the DA's office has said that, he's even, supported his claim that it was Lamar and it wasn't him.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you say to that?
Well, what I say to me, Dervin worked out a deal, as I say over and over again.
Right.
He worked out a deal, got himself in his trouble. Be a man, do your time, man. Do your time like a man, man. Do your time like a man, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't throw nobody else under the bus that wasn't there, but these folks come to you because they after this certain guy. They come to you and you agree to allow this guy in exchange for you to get off a 15 or 20-year federal sentence that you was on.
A lot has changed around here in 22 years, and there are a lot of people who are new to this community, Fifth Ward, new to the city in general. How was it then?
Well, growing up over here is pretty rough. And, now a lot done changed around here. You got to change within time. You know what I'm saying? That's the only how you going to make it around here.
When you say rough, what do you mean?
It was rough growing up, man. We had to get it rough. It was rough on us out here. A lot of us growed up without parents, without fathers in the household. So you'll turn to another male that's not inside your household as a father figure. You know what I'm saying? So, and pretty much you look up to another guy, another man that's not your father. Because you growed up without a father in the household. So either it's a homeboy or either it's someone that's not a homeboy, If he look out for you, you're going to pretty much look up to him as a father figure. That's just how it is growing up over here.
I won't hold you any longer, sir. I thank you for your time. I really do.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Y'all.
I just hope justice be prevailed, man. He's been right there with all us. All the guys that was in the club that night. That's the party. We don't go outside out something. We all stay together. So you can see everyone just about like that. Yeah. We've been trying to get the city to come expand the park, how they done the park in Third Ward.
Yeah.
Okay.